going on? Let's do this one. Okay, you guys ready? What we want to do is we want to model this thing right here. Not Mr. Dalday model. This is model. And this is question number 32. 32. Okay, ready? Is this linear? I'm just going to ask that right off the bat. No. Oh, by the way, this is X input. This is Y input. It's not linear because if it were linear, this would be 6 and then 12 and then 18 and then you're just adding 6 to the previous one, so it's not linear. No, and it's not even almost linear. Because you would add, to get linear, you would be adding the same number each time. Okay? And that's not the case. This is exponential, and Sophia already said it. You're multiplying by 2. In fact, Sophia, I'm going to write f of x is equal to c times a to the x power, and we're able to figure out what that a is right off the bat. You figured it out. It's 2. So f of x is equal to c times 2 to the x power. Now, Bradley, the reason why is because you just take this number divided by that number, and you get 2. You also notice that this number divided by that number is 2. This divided by 2, that is 2. So it's just, we're just upping the next one by 2. Got it? Oh, okay. Thanks, Bradley. Bradley understands this whole time. In fact, this entire time that I've ever been his teacher, he knew everything I was talking about, but he was asking for the sake of other students. That's chivalrous, dude. Okay. I got a question. Do you know how to find C? Yes, it's 6. Okay, good. You just plug in a point. Yeah, you can plug in a point. You can choose any point. If you plug in X for 3, 48 for Y, you can figure out what that is. I think, to be honest with you, the easiest point to plug in would be this point. Because if you think about it, if I plug in 0, then this whole thing, 2 to the 0, is going to be 1, as we just explained to Bradley's hypothetical question that he was asking for other people. And if that's equal to 1, then your C value is equal to whatever the f of x value is for x equals 0. So you literally can just look at this and say, oh, it's 6. But that is assuming that I gave you the point 0 comma something. And as Sophia likes to put it, which isn't always true, and I always give you this warning, but she's like, oh, that's just the y-intercept. Right? And the y-intercept is when x equals 0 anyway. And yes, Sophia, in this particular case, because because of the property that anything to the 0 power is equal to 1, then yes, what you've done is you've incurred the wrath of Mr. Dalday, and I've remembered you for doing this, and then you now have been named after you. That point has been named after you. But at least it's a good thing, right? At least it's a good thing in this case. It's not like, oh, you just pulled a Sophia, which means in this case, it means you've made an observation that is very specific to an example, but it's also a very good observation. As opposed to pulling a Bradley, which we all know what that is. All right, let me stop the recording. I'll be honest with you, I have no idea what